What's the deal, y'all? It's your boy AJ for the win back again. Shit, we got some drilling going on. We got some gangster shit going on, man. We got Donald Trump in USA. You know what I'm saying? We bombed them fools straight up Venezuela, and we kidnapped and took their president. You know what I'm saying? As of right now, China might get involved based off this article I'm seeing right here from CNN. China said they want they mans to get back to their country. What y'all gonna do about it, China? Ain't gonna do shit. Y'all make one move and we gonna blitz you. Straight up. Straight the fuck up. China has called on the US to immediately release Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, who are in custody in the US after being snatched by American forces from the Venezuelan capital, Caracas. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna go well for China trying to do what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like China just mad because they couldn't get Taiwan. You know what I'm saying? It seems like this last little bit of wars that we've had since the Russia, Ukraine, all this type of stuff. It's like we really fighting over these little parcels of land, islands. You know, every country wants to Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? We got Puerto Rico. Now we about to have Venezuela as well. And honestly, quite frankly, we could just take the whole thing. I don't give a fuck. But something that's curious about topics like this, though. When y'all square ass, nerdy ass, hypocritical people talk about crimes like these as if, they're justifiable versus crimes from the common man that's doing the same thing. Regardless of the ends justifying the means and the reason for doing it, each party has their own reason, and a third party nerd will have an opinion on if they're a bad person, doing the right thing, need to be arrested, need to die, go to jail, all this type of stuff, right? From mass shooters to one-offs to gangbangers to pimps and hoes, all type of shit. But when it comes to these countries dropping bombs on innocent civilians, children, and women, it's it's just the president. It's just, you know what I'm saying? They don't look at it in the same light. And I think that shit hypocritical. And to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, we got everybody's favorite investigator, Trap Lord Ross, talking about the subject and the way that his energy and his tone. I can see the chat, man, but I'm talking. You feel me? So the way I'm recording this whole thing that's going on YouTube, this ain't just on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? What's your name? The Mana. Oh, I don't even know how to say your shit. Also, so look it, man. We talking about this topic though. So see, fucking up my train of thought. Look it, man. Niggas like this will talk about the Lil Durk situations or all the other rappers. He make millions of videos about black men causing harm to other people, and how he's so how there's just such a disdain taste in his mouth for it. You know what I'm saying? So I want him to have that same energy across the board. Me, if you spend, that's your business. If you spend on me, that's my business. As long as you're not spending on me, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. It ain't none of my business. But niggas like this, they get on here, they do their investigative stuff, they go on the Reddit, they try to piece together actual. These niggas are true crime documentarians. I could never do a interview one of these niggas. If you've ever stepped a pinky toe in the streets and you hopping around these motherfuckers, you deserve what's coming. But I digest. Let's get into this real quick.
Trapmore gang. It is insane news coming out of the United States.
Hold on.
Donald
The fuck? The fuck just happened? Mm. Okay.
Trapmore gang.
Y'all can
It
hear
is
anything.
insane news coming out of the United States. Donald Trump and the United States military have just led strikes on Venezuela. Okay, they're really VDK out here. Okay, they're Venezuela killers. They have taken out the country. They have toppled the alleged dictator of the country, and a lot of people are mad. Now, I'm not the biggest political buff, but this story definitely has captured my interest, and I think it would be cool if we learned about this a little bit together and kind of broke down some of the backstory and some of the reaction about this from some of the most unusual corners of the internet. Okay, because if you know me, I'm known for covering gangsters, gangster rappers, drill, street gang beefs, and in some ways, this incident has kind of highlighted just how much really of a gangster Donald Trump is.
But talk about it in the same breath that you talk about the Durkios. You know what I'm saying? You seem impressed. You seem elated that this happened. Look, you got the American flag in your background. You from the UK. We struck a deal up with the UK during Trump's most recent presidential presidency. You get what I'm saying? We struck a deal with the UK to sell y'all some of our meat. Y'all eating our meat, bro. And all we wanted in exchange, man, an ally and some cars and a couple other things. We want y'all little Mini Coopers and your Range Rovers and your Jaguars and shit like that, homie. You got an America. I can never put a UK flag in the back of my shit. Nigga, it's USA all day. Y'all come over here tripping, we tripping. But yeah, he talk about this shit like it's a rap series, like it's a. If you go back and watch my Obama video that I did when he dropped the bomb wearing the red tie, I talked about it how he was spinning the blocks, dropping bombs, going in there catching the bodies, going crazy. You know, unbiased opinion. I don't give a fuck. But Trap Lord, you give a fuck. You talk so sentimentally about how bad you feel about innocent people and casualties and this, that, and the third. And then when it comes to this, like, I mean, I'm seeing the footage, we dropping like bombs. If a gangster, if a gangbanger, a mafia member, whatever, spin somebody block with a 100 round drum and let off in a party, there will be casualties. But if the president spins somebody's country and drop bombs, there will be way more casualties. So you cannot take that logic and try to make it seem like the former situation is the worst situation when the latter is going to have a far more dramatic statistics. You get what I'm saying? And niggas like to let's get into this shit.
I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
He's not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, but when it comes to black rappers, gangsters and shit, it's always a bad thing. If Trump is doing this to feed his family, feed his country, and protect it, if Durkio was doing it to feed his family, whoop de whoop, and protect whoop de whoop, it's the same shit. It's all either dumb or it's all super important. All of that picking and choosing because of who is who. I don't I don't pick who draw the line in the sand. For me, Trump don't draw the line in the sand for what's right and what's wrong for me. Apparently he does for Trapler Ross. Look at this nigga is sucking dick right now. This nigga is on this nigga dick, bro. Straight up. He is. He wanted to be American so
he's
bad.
actually been catching bodies on the Venezuelans for like a couple of months now. And I'm just going to keep it very real with you, okay? He's been sliding and catching hats. I don't know how else to say
You
this. Okay?
excited,
I don't
huh?
mean to make light of the situation, but that's really what's been going on. So let's just go. Let's just go straight off the bat. Okay, this is some of CNN's reporting on the situation. This is basically pictures of the U.S. strikes on Venezuela and the capturing of their president, apparently the allegedly illegitimate president Maduro. Okay, so this is what's been going on. Donald Trump announced early Saturday that the U.S. had captured the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro and his wife. All right, Mr. Take Your Bitch, indeed, after carrying out a large-scale strike in the South American country. The raid was carried out by the U.S. Army's elite Delta Force. Bro, if the Delta Force are pulling up on you, it's a fucking long day. I'm not going to lie, I want to say it. All right, it didn't lead to any U.S. casualties. Okay, it's a clean sheet. And the Trump administration has been saying for years that Maduro was actually a criminal and they've looked to prosecute him through the U.S. legal system. Well, they've decided that today was the day, 2026, we're standing on business and we're going to go in there and we're going to get his ass, bring him.
So who's gonna bring to justice the little girls and women that were coerced and forced to fuck on politicians here in America to fuck on influential people at the Jeffrey Island. You know what I'm saying? What was that? The Virgin Islands and shit like that, or whatever he was at. You know what I'm saying? Who gonna come and do the do that? Just curious.
Back to New York, and he has apparently just arrived back in New York. Back in 2020, during Trump's first term, Maduro was charged in the Southern District of New York for narco terrorism, conspiracy to import cocaine, and related charges. So they've had these charges on him. They've had him marked. They've said, you are the top op. We are going to take you out. No ifs, ands, or buts for a minute. And basically, so this says in recent weeks, Trump has recently repeatedly warned that the US was preparing to take new action against alleged drug trafficking networks in Venezuela, and that strikes on land will start soon. Trump's
Cause fentanyl comes from Venezuela, bro. That's killing everybody, and it might be. They say that shit was man-made, man, in China. I hear some people saying it's coming from Mexico. I think it's a whole interconnected network. You know what I'm saying? And I don't got the facts. I'm not an investigative journalist. I'm more like a reporter. I report on shit that intrigues me. I'm not gonna do no investigative, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Although the woman who put my suits together though, she's Venezuelan, she's downtown, super thick accent. I usually need a translator to even talk to the lady. You feel me? I think I'm gonna go interview her tomorrow, get her opinion. She said her husband was still back in Venezuela. So I want to hear from the people how they feel about it.
a pressure campaign on Maduro
Not through Reddit.
included strikes destroying more than 30 boats in the Caribbean Sea. And I'm telling you, bodies were getting dropped in that sea.
For sure they was. Hey, the way Trump talked about it, it was like some gangster shit. I think it said the reporter asked Trump at the end of the press conference, like, what are you gonna do with all that oil? Are we selling it? Like, what are we doing with it as America? Trump said, it's none of your business. We're gonna do with it what we do with it. And when we do it, then we'll tell you. We don't need to tell you before we do it. The president of the United States told journalists who was supposed to report to the common people to keep us informed that it ain't none of our business. He said we took the boats too. We came in your hood. We took the king off the chessboard. And now, come on, man. Who you think will be in position of power in Venezuela? Somebody who favors America or somebody who's favoring China? Come on, gang. Keep up. We're gonna speed through some of this.
Okay, I'm going to tell you in a minute. There's bodies was getting dropped back to back to back to back.
Look how like into it he is. Like this nigga is tripping. He wasn't talking about that, but to be fair, he does talk about it like that. But then he turned. But it's only to make them look bad. Oh my god, he caught 14 bodies. He's trying to put the bodies on them damn near, you know what I'm saying? But he wants them gone. He's doing it out of hatred, it seemed like, with the rappers as opposed to with political figures. So I just think that's interesting.
Back, he was sliding in the sea. It's crazy. Okay, and the US described it as a counter-narcotics campaign. Trump last month ordered a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers coming in and leaving Venezuela, and Trump basically said Saturday the US is going to run Venezuela indefinitely until a proper and judicious transition has occurred. So a lot, if any.
I hate when people use rhetoric and try to use words like we're going to run it indefinitely for a short period of time. The word indefinitely means indefinitely. This is our shit. That's the only part I've taken from it. I don't care about that second half.
Anything, a lot of Venezuelans were actually overjoyed and really happy about Maduro being gone. People were calling for freedom for Venezuela in Tenerife and the Canary Islands. Tenerife pulled up there one time. It's really interesting because a lot of people are acting outraged. That's a picture of him in cuffs. The DEA got his ass, dragging his ass back to New York City. All right, it's a literal perp walk of the ousted Venezuelan leader. I'm not.
Think about to have this nigga in the feds, man. He about to be in there playing poker, chess. You know what I'm saying? All type of shit. They gonna put him next to some cartel members,
I'm not
probably.
gonna lie, whether or not you like or dislike Trump, he's standing on. He's grabbing dictators from other countries and bringing them back to New York in the dead of night like that. That is absolute
While dropping bombs on people, bro.
insanity. Okay, this is the van apparently carrying him at Wall Street heliport in New York. He pulled up. They got him. There he is, arriving at the heliport. He's throwing up the peace sign to people. He was brought in on a helicopter with his wife. Who knows if his wife's going to be ended up in cuffs or in charges. That's him in a grey Nike Tech. A lot of people are saying, yo, like this guy, they put him in a grey Nike Tech. Like,
When I saw this image, bro, I thought this was AI. I did not believe. I still don't believe this image because that thing on his face over his eyes is to brainwash him, and them he got some music. He got something playing in there. They gotta be torturing this motherfucker, bro.
what the hell is going on here? Okay, not bulging too hard, but Trump spoke
Gay.
out to the media from Mar-a-Lago, basically, and he kind of spoke out, broke it down, basically explained what was going on, and said that all Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military working with us, law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. They really grabbed hold of him. And Venezuelans living in Argentina were displaying the Venezuelan flag. It reads freedom, and they would all celebrate. So a lot of people are celebrating. It's ironic, and I'm not really super political, especially when it comes to US politics, because I'm not from the US. Okay, I'm over here. I'm a British boy, right? Is what it is. But I do have an interest and a fascination in American politics. The UK is kind of like America's little bro. And, when I am in the US, I do find it interesting to look into their politics and learn about what's going on there. But it seems like a lot of people on the left leaning side of things, they're kind of like calling this out, saying, this is like the Iraq war, Trump's intervening and meddling in other countries. But ironically, okay, my screen's gone a little bit wonky over here. Ironically, a lot of people.
They said a lot of people was appreciative of this. So like
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet
I mean, like I said, gang, for me personally, it's just all news, something to report. When China retaliates, I'm going to report. When the next country retaliate, I'm going to report. That's all it is for me. Me personally, I don't feel bad about the bombs getting dropped on women and children, but I keep the same energy all the way across the board. You fuck with me and mine, everything of yours is on limits. Ain't nothing off limits. And that's the true art of war. We're talking about people that kick it with people that wrote the rules for this shit. You know what I'm saying? They got rules that ain't even made it to the mainstream about some of this shit. You know what I'm saying? But look it, man. It's your boy AJ for the win, man. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all for this shit or against it, man. Check out my other video. I'm gonna link right here.